everyone, my name is Sheikh Sitratul Muntaha and today I will be conducting a reading class about matching headings. Students have said all over the world that matching heading is one of the most difficult and challenging part of the reading section because it takes a lot of time and it is challenging to find the perfect match for the heading. So today I will be talking about what this test is actually about, some strategies that we can use and then practice. Let's begin. Matching heading is the headings actually work as a title for each part. So, what we have to do is we have to summarize the paragraphs and find the main aim or the theme of each paragraph, and not just the details or small informations, but what the whole paragraph is talking about. You will be given 5 to 7 headings per passage, and there will be only one correct answer or one correct heading for each paragraph. So, what you have to be careful about is you have to read the instructions. In the instructions, it will be said that you have to answer using Roman numerals. You cannot use words or write the entire paragraph. You must write the Roman numerals when you are answering. Now, why is this test important? What is it actually testing you about? The test specifically is designed to test your ability to understand the main idea of a paragraph. When you will go to abroad for higher education or any academic purpose, you will have to read many academic documents and paragraphs, and you will have to summarize those paragraphs and find the main idea or theme. So this is what this test is designed for, to uh, test your ability to do that. So let's start with some of the strategies that you can use while answering. You can choose your own approach, like reading the passage first, or read the headings first. But what I suggest is that you leave this matching heading part for the very end. That way, you have more or less read the entire passage and you have the idea about what this passage is actually about. So you don't end up spending a lot of time going through each of the passages and figuring out which heading matches. But before you do that, you have to count the paragraphs and the headings. There will be more headings given to you than there are the paragraphs. This is done to distract you or confuse you. Paragraphs যখন বেশি থাকবে তখন ওখানে similar words use করা হতে পারে, তো এটা কনফিউশন ক্রিয়েট করার জন্য। যেমন এখানে আমরা যদি লেফট সাইড রাইট সাইডের পিকচারটাতে দেখতে পারি, question heading number 5, 6, 7. Heading number 7 and 6 has the word food output. So this word is used for both of these headings, but the theme or the main idea of both of these headings or the meaning is completely different. One says farming and food output, while the other one says the effects of government policy on food output. So the meaning is completely different. You can also see that the word government policy is used in almost all of these headings, but each of these talks about a different type of policy. For example, one talks about government policy in rich countries, while other one talks about government policies in poor countries. So, meaningটা বুঝা is very important. Similar words বা similar phrases use করা হলেও every heading talks about a different theme. And every heading will be matched with a different passage, which also is talking about a different theme. So we should not be confused when the headings are looking similar. We just have to be able to decipher between the different headings. This is why you should not decide immediately. You first shortlist possible headings. And what you can do is, now that all the IELTS exams are going to be computer-based, you can mark each headings that you feel like are confusing or can match to the same paragraph. There is this red flag that you can click in the IELTS computer-based exam, and you can leave that for later. After you've found the other headings, you can come back to this heading and decipher whether or not this should go with this paragraph. Okay, Now let's look at some of the other strategies. So when you are reading the headings, if you're reading the headings first, you should highlight the keywords. In computer-based IELTS exam, the passages and the questions are going to be side by side. So if you highlight the keywords, it will be easier for you to locate the same passage you can just look at the highlighted words, and when you're reading the passages, it will be easier for you to match the headings. Also, when you are reading the paragraphs, I would suggest don't just skim those paragraphs. Try to read those carefully. Try to understand the meaning without just reading. So focus on its direction or the purpose. Each of the paragraph will have a specific purpose. তো যখন আমরা পড়ছি, we should try to question ourselves what if it's talking about a cause, if it's describing a problem, if it's giving a solution. If we are asking these questions, it will be easier for us to understand the meaning of the paragraph, and then we can connect it to its perfect heading. We should also be able to separate the main ideas from supporting details and examples. The paragraphs we will be reading in reading section, they will be quite big, and there will be many extra informations that we generally do not need. So we should be able to understand the main theme or the idea that the passage is talking about, and not focus on the random extra details that has been given. Many times what happens is these paragraphs are heavily scientifically based. So tend to get lost in all these scientific informations. But these are actually not important. They're only there to confuse you. Heavy vocabularies are used, scientific words are used. We don't have to focus on these. We just have to understand the meaning of the passage. That will be all for us to, that will be all that's necessary for us to connect with its perfect heading. So avoid choosing based on limited information as well. For long paragraphs, what we can do is we can read the first and the last sentence very carefully and skim the middle. But many times what happens is the main theme is talked in the middle of the paragraph. So this technique might not work for all the paragraphs, but for long paragraphs, we can go for it. We can first read the first and the last section. And if we still are not able to match the perfect heading with it, then we can read the entire paragraph carefully. To save time, we can do that. Also, time is very important. We have to remember that each of these headings only equal to 1 mark. So if we are not able to find the heading, we should not ponder upon it. We have to move on because time is also very important, and the passages are quite long. So we have to move on to other questions as well. So if we are all clear about all these strategies and tricks we can use, let's move on to practice. So here we can see four paragraphs and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 headings. 4 paragraphs and 6 headings. So we can see that 2 extra headings are given. This is a short version of what you will see in the actual IELTS exam. There will be at least 8 to 10 paragraphs and more headings. So here, let's start by reading the headings first. The value of steady study habits. So this heading is talking about steady study habits. We can highlight the study habit area if we want as the keywords. Then the next one is learning preferences and study methods. Here, study methods or the preference of learners can be the keywords. Next one is adult language learning potentials. So this heading talks about adult language learnings or adult learners. So those are the keywords. And the next one, the role of technology in education. The keyword or the key theme of this heading is self-explanatory technology. Then we have creating confidence through teaching and the disadvantages of group study. So let's If so, we have read the headings and we are clear about what these headings want. We have highlighted the keywords. Now we can move on to the paragraphs and read those. Paragraph A says, many people think language learning is easier for children, but adults can also learn successfully. Adults often understand grammar rules faster and use learning strategies more effectively. Motivation and regular practices are more important than age alone. So here we can see that in the first sentence, at the end of the first sentence actually, it talks about adults who can learn successfully. And then in the middle of the paragraph, how adults can learn faster using different strategies is talked about. So more or less, this paragraph is talking about adult learners. We can connect it to the heading number 3, adult language learning potentials. Here, the word potential is the key word uh, that we can connect to the passage, because how the adults can learn and the possibilities of their learning outcomes is talked about paragraph A. So the potential word actually matches. Some students might confuse it with the heading number 1, where it says study habit. So adults habits is also talked about in this paragraph, in the middle of this paragraph, but potential is matching more. So let's move on to the next paragraph. Technology has made language learning more flexible than before. I think we don't really have to read more of this paragraph because it's really uh, understandable that technology is the main theme of this paragraph. So this is what happens. This is what sometimes can happen. The answer or the main theme of the paragraph can be given in the first sentence as a definition. That is what we can see in this paragraph. So we can easily connect it to the heading number 4, the role of technology in education. Now, in paragraph number C, we can read that some learners prefer studying alone, while others learn better in groups. Independent study allows learner to focus on professional weaknesses. Group learning, however, offers more interaction and real communication practice. Here, different type of learning habits has been talked about. We can see group learning and then uh, independent study. So this sort of matches with learning preferences and study methods. The word preference is the key word for this heading, because in the paragraph we can see different type of learning preferences has been talked about. So we can highlight this word as the key word and then connect it with paragraph C. Lastly, we have paragraph 3, where it says that many language learners struggle to manage their time effectively. Long study sessions are often less effective than short. Regular practice, a consistent routine helps learners maintain progress. In the last line, it says a consistent routine helps learners maintain progress. So, consistent routine matches with the heading number 1, where it says steady study habits. Consistent routine and steady study habits. Here, we can see that the heading has been paraphrased. So, this will be commonly seen in heading matching sections. The headings will be, most of the times, it will be, the headings will use some of the words of the paragraph, but the words or the phrases will be paraphrased. So you have to be careful when you are matching the headings. Don't be scared or nervous if the paraphrased word is not out of your vocabulary range. You can read the paragraph and then you can just connect it with the word that has been given in the headings. So here, consistent and steady are similar vocabulary words. You can understand these words when you are reading the paragraph and you understand the meaning of the paragraph. It will become easier for you to connect with the word that has been paraphrased. Let's look at these solutions if they are as we have seen. So here we can see that A is actually an heading number 3. adult language learning potentials. And then B is heading number 4, C is heading number 2, and D is heading number 1. The lines where the main theme of these headings are given has been highlighted for your better understanding. These highlighted parts of these paragraphs sort of has been paraphrased to create the title or the heading of these sections. I hope you have understood what we just learned and you can use these for your exam. That was all. Thank you, everyone.